everybody. We want to welcome you out here to day number 2 of the Coolhorse Colt Starting Challenge. We've got some great contestants, great judges that are going to be here taking care of this. And like I said, we saw some amazing things yesterday, and it's just going to progress with each day as we go through this. Also want to say a great big thank you to our friends at Scotco. Uh-oh, you better call Scotco. You know, when you got one of those uh-oh moments, they're the ones you want to reach out to. Our donors of the horses, we really can't say enough because these are some amazing colts. Steve Sykes with Sykes Land Service Incorporated, J.M. Birdwell, Michael Nixon, David Williams, Rockin', and J.M. Performance Horses have donated these colts, and we are going to have an auction. You can own one of them come Saturday. So proceeds going to the Reins Riders Foundation and the WRCA Cowboy Crisis Fund. So be sure and check that out. Make plans to be here. It's going to be a great time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to start things out the way we always do, quick prayer and our national anthem. Please bow your head. Our gracious and heavenly Father, as we pause here, we just ask today that you keep our contestants and the colts all safe, Father. They're working to the main goal, and we know you can help them get there. We ask that you please protect our first responders, our front line, our servicemen and women. Keep them safe in this time of need, Father, and just keep us all safe and remind us that we are united, one nation under God, and we are Americans. We ask these things in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the most beautiful song ever written in my book is the Star Spangled Banner. Between these three gentlemen, they have probably started or helped get started somewhere in the neighborhood collectively of about 50,000, and then they also around the 30,000 mark for each one of them. So Pretty amazing group of judges. We want to welcome to them this morning Mr. Joe Walter, Jeff Williams, and Buster McClary. Our contestants, pin 1, which is the one down on the east end, will be Chance Gaynor. Pin number 2 in the center will be Dusty Burson. And pin number 3 down on the west end, Gatlin Duncan.
One thing to keep in mind, y'all that have kids over here playing with the toys and such, somebody does need to keep an eye on them. We want to make sure that they don't crawl under the fence with the colts and get themselves hurt, so somebody do keep an eye on them. And please don't pet the horses that are in the holding pen. The holding pen is right back over here, and it's pretty tempting to walk by there on the way to the concession stand and give them a little snuggle, but please keep your hands on the same side of the fence as you're on and don't go in the pen with them. Thank you.
If they feel this need to snuggle, they could always go see Steve, right? I mean, Mr. Magnanimous, okay? In his job description. How many of you, by a quick round of applause, were here with us yesterday? Good, glad to have you back. '79th annual Will Rogers Reins Riders Rodeo, and they decided they were going to try some new things, and this is one of them, and I'm thoroughly impressed. This has been some great watching. We've got, I mean, some top colts here that have been donated, so it's going to be fun when that auction comes up on Saturday. Again, we can't say enough about our friends at Coolhorse, Coolhorse.com. You can check them out. I got the privilege of going over there the other day and looking at their facility, and it is amazing. They added a saddle shop in there where they can work on, they can build you just about whatever you want. They do sales, service, trailers, and it's not just horse trailers. They'll work on any trailer that you take in there. So be sure and give them a shout. Coolhorse.com. Also, Dave Brewer is with our friends at Scotco. And remember the uh-oh moments. If you've got problems with your heating and air, plumbing, electrical, doesn't matter if it's commercial, residential, they're the ones to call, Scotco. Also, another one of our big sponsors is Street Toyota. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys for all you've done. And what you're seeing right now is each one of our contestants just kind of, they left off yesterday afternoon. And as Brent and I were talking, they left off at a good point to pick back up right here this morning. So it's just kind of rebuilding that trust a little bit. They have not seen, the contestants haven't been with them, the horses haven't been with the contestants since they left them yesterday afternoon. Dusty in the middle pen there, halter on. We're getting the halters on all three of them about the same place. And you'll notice Dusty starts out with that flag, kind of rubbing it around there on her, just letting her feel that, hey, it's kind of the same stuff we went through yesterday, but just kind of retraining. So Again, we want to thank our donors, Sykes, Land Service Incorporated, Mr. Steve Sykes, J.M. Birdwell, Michael Nixon, David Williams, and Rocket J.M. Performance Horses. We appreciate the donations, and again, those proceeds are going to go back to a charity involved with the Wheel Riders and Reins Riders and the WRCA Cowboy Crisis Fund. And if you're not familiar with that helps ranch families that may have had an injury at work or something happened and made a tough time for them to make a living, and they can get help through the Working Ranch Cowboys Association right here in Amarillo. So great cause. Got a chance to get a great filly, and already got some work in on her. So these guys have done some amazing things with them, and I think you're going to like what you see come Saturday. Now down here in Pin 1, James, you see him, he's picked up right where they left off. It was an easy catch this morning. These animals have a great memory, and you can work with them and get them, and they see right where they are. We're down on the far pin at pin number 3, kind of loping around a little bit, right here in the middle. Dusty getting her to bend and follow him. And the ideal situation is for these animals to be looking at him the entire time. They want to bend them to the center of these pins like we did yesterday, because that gives them an outlet.
All these colt starters remember where their colt was yesterday, what seemed to be the horse's strengths and where were their challenges, and they're checking these horses out to see, okay, where are you starting today? And today they should be starting about where they left off yesterday. They all did a good job of getting them soft and making progress with them, and they're looking like a pretty good start this morning.
Remember yesterday morning, Dusty's little filly there in the center pin, pin number 2. She was real shy of that rope. I mean, she's standing there now and taking it well. Again, you're seeing Chance down here work with his hip, getting her used to pressure. A lot of times these guys and gals will have that light hand on the head and use just the leg pressure to move move them in the way they want them to go, and it doesn't take a lot. Each and every one of them you watched with their lead ropes on them, and they're not jerking on them, they're not pulling on them a lot, they just ask and the horse gives. Down there in pin 3, he's got his lariat rope around the filly's midsection, and again, it's just getting them comfortable. Dusty, you remember the filly Dusty had yesterday? Really, first off, did not like it, but this morning it went really smooth. And you'll notice that green panel, she was trying to flight, and that's the horse's natural instinct. They either fight or they run. Checking her on both sides and looking at her how she's bending, and she looks really good. Chance was over here in pin number 1, and you saw him kind of bouncing and jumping a little bit, and that was getting the horse ready and used to seeing him up at a different height for about the time he's ready to get on. Then it's not going to be such a big deal. Gatlin, again, we like what he's doing. He's picking up each horse's foot because those are the horse's weapons, and what he's looking for is he wants that horse to give that to him when he asks for it, and then Gatlin gives it right back to him, letting them know that they don't have to fight. And this is good for the farriers, or if you got to get around and put bell boots, whatever you want on them. This helps them get used to that. Yes, sir. And Gatlin had a little bit of sticky feet yesterday morning with that filly, and put that rope around that midsection and wanted her moving forward the whole time. That he held a little bit of pressure on that rope around her midsection there. He bounced it like his leg would in a stirrup, and just getting her used to it and seeing that she's really taken all of it very, very well. Forward and calm, and like we said yesterday morning, we're getting these fillies to a point where you can ride them safely, and that's the main goal. You're not looking at this session, you're moving forward, looking at session this afternoon. And I am very, very impressed with these 3 because they have picked right back up where they left off yesterday morning, and each one of these fillies taken it very, very well. Dusty, what he's doing here at the center pin is working around and looking to go up with the trot, different speeds. Look at that. He stops, that Colt stops and looks at him. And that's exactly what he's wanting. Walk, trot, canter, took him up through him and looking for the smoothness. Now he's going to take him around the other way and look for the same thing there.
Have you been filming the whole thing? Okay, it's got audio too. What do you? Did I get a copy of it? Oh, good. They picked up a little somewhere. Have you know that?
You remember yesterday, Chance, that horse was a little bit trying to get out from underneath the saddle. So yesterday afternoon, he put the pad on with just some cinches and got her used to it, and you can see the big difference it's made this morning. And it's all about finding a good stopping place when you start with one of these young colts. And each one of these individuals this morning, you could tell that they found that place.
30 years. But I told Dusty, I said, find somebody that's good friends with us, because I next year. I'd love to see the whole thing.
Now you're watching Dusty there take that one rein and pull it around the rear end. That's getting her to bend and present those hindquarters. And man, she is taking to it like a champ. Okay, now.
So you'll put this on YouTube,
And he, again, Chance,
okay.
she tried to get out from underneath it again, and he didn't have it cinched up. He just had it sitting up there, moving it around on her. He was actually able to pull that saddle instead of letting it flop off, which would have made things kind of take a 2 steps forward and 10 back. And we did have some folks yesterday that asked if these guys and gal had seen these horses. No, they had not till they got here. They had put the horses, Mr. Brand standing right here with me, had put the horses on a level playing field, and that was all that had been done with them. And then it's up to each individual to work their magic with the horses and get it done.
You won't get lawyers involved, people. Oh, he's
Now Dusty's up in the saddle. She's kind of putting pressure on that side. She's looking there.
So who's the people that wrote the song?
Gatlin down on the far end.
How do you get over
She's
it?
pretty well taken. Saddling and everything that he's done with it. Now he's going to get a little of that forward movement in her. Very smooth transition.
USC. Okay. You need to get some bubble gum stick. Oh, I do. Let him lose a blanket. Well, with this, when I take a YouTube and I'm not computer literate, I don't think I've seen.
I noticed Dusty
Would I click in
bringing her around. She's got nice movement.
Coolhorse Colt breaking or something? Find it.
He's not forcing her. He's just kind of letting her go where she wants to. Reaches back, touches the hip. Always crazy. These young colts are like children. You know, if you're constantly getting on your children, they kind of have a tendency to soul up a little bit. Same way with these colts. If you praise them, they like to be praised, just like we do. You look down at Gatlin down there, and he switched her around the other direction. She's moving out real nice, real comfortable.
Everything that I shoot here is recorded. So, Bill, Roger, Reins, WRRR,
Unusual movement on the head, and that's what Dusty's getting done, because you'll see he'll take that rein and he'll spin it and then kind of throw it across the colt's head, and that's letting that colt get used to things, a rope, whatever may be up there, and she's handling it like a champ.
Kind of categorizing things, maybe. Is that what the purpose is?
Nice, keeping her moving, but you see where his feet are. They're not into her sides. He's using a little bit of that rein. And again, we'll go in the next direction. These animals learn to move by feel, and your body has a lot to do with that. If you're tense, they're going to be tense. If you're relaxed, they'll be relaxed. And I talked yesterday morning, it's all about building that trust. And don't forget, my new friend Amanda's here this morning, and she's got us with AQHA Financial. Be sure to check her out. They do long-term loans and leasing, and I mean, it's for barns, it's for equipment, you name it. Amanda, could you give somebody a loan to get in the auction? Okay, I was just checking. I'll need to apply for that, okay?
Yeah. That would be, yeah. Yeah, that would be it.
And Dusty's getting her to bend into the fence, because that's not natural for them. Normally you want to give them an escape route and let them bend into the center of the pen. They also need to learn this movement to bend away from it as well as into it. Also helps with bringing the front end through in a smooth transition, and just getting her to bend, and we want these horses to be supple. What that means is that they're not all tensed up when they turn and bring that head back to them, or they present the hind quarters of the front end. They want it done in a fluid, smooth movement. Dusty, just like he was doing yesterday, does that short ride and has made a lot of progress. So what he's going to do is gets off and he lets that horse kind of soak in what he's been asking it to do. Let it stand a little bit. He'll go outside outside the pen. Chan's got the pad on her. Don't forget, if you're looking for a concession stand located just outside the east overhead doors, also out there you'll find the restrooms. There's little filly Chan's got. She's still just a little bit leery, but you can't get in a hurry. You got to take your time.
And they lost their identity.
Well, they're kind of 1 year old, because they had multiple group items.
That's crazy.
Start a colt, you probably need a combination of grandma's temperament and a lot of Joe's patience.
All right, enjoy it. My nephew.
You notice the little filly that Dusty's working with didn't move. She just stayed right there where he left her. You notice Dusty brings in that little 4x4 or landscape timber, whatever it may be, and that's just something for bring her across, let her feet get used to stepping over something and watching and working with that now. Again, he didn't just come in and jump up on this horse's back, he kind of eased into it. Something new that this colt saw yesterday, but it brings something new back in another dimension to get this colt used to things, used to his feet stepping over. Look at that, that was smooth, very, very smooth. Yesterday, if I remember right, she was a little hesitant at first going over that. Look at this now. Yep, she wouldn't. He led her over it, but I mean, she is smooth, smooth, smooth. Okay, now if you look down here, Chance, he's got that saddle back up on her. And again, you gotta have patience. Chance still rubbing her with the cinches. Throwing it up there and dropping them over. That's going to be the breast collar. Okay, now look. Got that front stitch on there. And again, he's talking to her, got her to calm down. And she's realizing that that equipment is not going to hurt. this particular filly that he's working with, that, you know, we've all seen somebody raise their voice to a young kid and it kind of makes them set back. This one's a little more sensitive to the feel of the equipment that's needed when you're going to go out in the pasture with your colt. And she has taken it much, much better than she did yesterday. Yes, sir, get it all channeled in together, going in the right direction. And you'll be very, very impressed with this little filly. Gatlin down on the other end, using the flag a little bit, just kind of up and around her head, showing her that it's not going to hurt her. We are about halfway into their first hour, so they'll have 30 minutes left. You'll notice now, Chance still got that breast collar in his hand. Chance happened to try some things that were a little bit different yesterday, and he's remembering what the colt liked from yesterday, and he has helped her relax and get there, and that's the technique that he's using right now. Now, second time off of Dusty's horse, he found a good stopping place. It's a little short ride, you know, they're not wearing them out, they're just kind of getting used to it. I want you to look now down here with Chance. The breast collar's on, he's got the rear cinch now, working with it. And she's standing there, not trying to fight him, not trying to get away. Not jerking that rear cinch at all. He's just kind of letting her feel. It's just right here. It's not going to hurt you. You see Dusty's colt, she keeps moving towards him. And that's something that you're looking for, that bond. You're looking for a little bit of a bond and the trust between both of you, and they've got it right there, pin 2. Gatlin, now you may have noticed this little filly down at pin number 3, she kind of looked like she might try to fight that flag as it kind of was going around, and so now he's working on getting that neck a little more soft and supple. Feeling of the reins and which way they're going to go, that they're not going to hurt, it's just a direction. And again, all of them are to that point where when they do get in the saddle, they let that horse go the way it wants to go. And where it feels comfortable, then they might ask it to turn back into the pen. Now this is huge progress down here for Chance. And you see this filly, she's watching him. He doesn't have any tension on that lead rope at all until he needs her to move out, and it's just slight when he wants her to move. And he did the same thing yesterday with just the pads and the breast collar and cinches. That was all he used. A big, big breakthrough for this colt. And as you can see now, just a few minutes ago, man, she broke in 2, but now she's kind of gotten used to it, realizes the equipment will not hurt her. And that Chance isn't there to hurt her either. You notice Dusty out of pen 2 has taken his colt outside of the pen. And I do want to let you know that when these colts arrived here, that was their first trip to town. And what you're watching Chance do is he takes her walk, trot, back into the walk and stomp, all smooth. Yeah, and she made those moves without getting any excitement or anything. She had the stirrups, they're moving freely, so she's kind of getting used to the stirrups on each side. She was about to get tight, and Chance helped her out of that right before she did blow up on him. And you notice that she's just moving a lot smoother. Doesn't even act like the same colt right now. And again, he's wanting her to move forward. And like Brent just said, he goes, I'm wanting her to grow, but I want to stay on this side of the trouble. And that's what Chance is getting done. Dusty, we did have somebody in the crowd that wanted to know if you could jump her back into the pen. Just kidding, just kidding. Again, we cannot say enough about our donors. I mean, these guys have donated these fillies. And, man, I'm telling you, I am really impressed with them. A big thank you to Steve Sykes with Sykes Land Service Incorporated, J.M. Birdwell, Michael Nixon, David Williams, and Rock and J.M. Performance Horses. Gallen's still working on that neck, getting it a little supple and soft, pulling it around. But I want you to look right now. Chance down here in pen number 1. Now Dusty's out here showing me, going through the poles, and it's not about the obstacles, it's about showing the horse how to move and which way you want it to go, and working pretty well for him. Gatlin putting a little pressure on each side of that saddle. Chance just kind of moving her around, pushing on that saddle a little bit, getting her to loosen up and bend. And again, we talk about Gatlin's filly down there on the far end. Her feet yesterday got stuck, and he's working on getting that softness and suppleness in there where those feet won't be stuck. Chance went back to the same place with his filly down there in pin number 1. He's trying to get her to move with him. That's why he's kind of moving back and forth in directions, going from side to side, and she's keeping that forward movement. Got the head down, just kind of a lot different colt than we saw yesterday. Again, a big thank you to our friends at Coolhorse. Our contestants were out there last night and they had extended hours. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you're looking for, folks. If they don't have it, they will find it for you. But they service, they sell saddles, they build them, repair them. I mean, it's awesome. So be sure and check them out. Coolhorse. And if you don't feel like getting out right now, you can go to coolhorse.com. And they'll be glad to talk to you on that way and get things worked out for you. Also, Scott Coe, David Brewer, we appreciate him. He sponsored our judges. And what you're watching Chance do now, he added that longer lead rope. And he's got the short one kind of tied up around her neck. And just kind of gives her a sway of like Reins being on there, and then he's moving her out with that longer one. Now Gatlin's now up on the horse, and again, that horse's head kind of down, comfortable. The feet aren't sticking like they were yesterday. And you can see when she turns, I mean, he's not asking a lot. He doesn't put any pressure, it's just the pressure of that rein right there against that neck, and I mean, she is following very, very well. Chance going to move her out the other way. Dusty found another good place to stop and get down over there. We're about 20 minutes away from that first hour being over. Longer rope that Chance is using is, you notice, a lot longer, and that's just putting him in a safer distance, but he can also get more movement out of that filly with it. And she's really adapting right now. I mean, you can see how much of a change. She's not fighting it. Gatlin, I mean, this little filly down here with Gatlin, very smooth. I mean, she is comfortable. Dusty he's taking that saddle and all the tack off there, and he's just kind of standing there. And when you do that, they're actually wanting more. I mean, they kind of say, hey, what else you got for me? They know when they've done good. These guys praise them and let them know. Gatlin, she is really moving nice. I mean, we've talked about it already this morning, but look at her feet. Watch her feet right now. Very smooth on him. He's walked to the trot, and I mean, he's worked all that out with just a little bit of bending and presenting, and she's been, I mean, she has responded tremendously. You'll notice That's a great point. Look at Gatlin's feet. They're not moving. Real quiet, and then he asks with one, and look how she responds. She gives it to him. All right, now Chance, I'm going to undo that short lead on the halter. It was up around her neck, and he did drop the long lead rope. There he's kind of just bouncing next to her, letting her see. You're right, it's a familiar movement because he did it without any equipment on her, but now it's got the saddle on, and so he's repeating that move and showing her that it's okay because it is different with that saddle. And Brent just said, you know, that her emotions are right there on that top edge. You know, they're close to that edge, and so any small change at all has that effect on her. So that's what he's working through right now, getting her to move around and get that softness and suppleness. Gatlin is up and down on that side, just helping her get used to that. She's taking it well. Chance moving around and now pulling on that saddle horn a little bit. And again, that's a big change to that colt. What he's doing down there is trying to figure out how she's going to react to the change of weight and shifting of the weight. And it's a lot better to find out on the ground at first than it is when you get up in the saddle. Now he's moving her out pretty well, and I mean she is, look at the feet. 2 different speeds of the trot and the lope, and I mean, let her come back down through each one, not just pull her up and stop her dead. And again, it's a matter of that colt feeling what she wants, and he's letting her feel and get used to it. Brent just said that the smooth transitions are more important than making them stay in one certain gait. And he's been, each transition, I mean, look how smooth she is. A Chance down here, getting her ready, put a little weight in that saddle. Now you see how he jumped up and raised that knee up a couple of times before he actually touched her in the butt, and before he actually went to the stirrup. He got that head pulled around there, trying to get her to do that bend and just kind of get soft in that neck. Gatlin's got her taking both leads very, very well down there in pin number 3.
Generally, when we talk about transitions, most people look at it as from one gait to another. But the true definition of transition is a change. So it could be a change within a gate, or from one gate to another, or a change of direction, or from one thing to another, any change. And they're looking for all these to be smooth, regardless of what changes it is that they're doing.
Now Dusty put the lead back on her, and he's just kind of swinging that area rope around her, let her get the feel across the hips and around her head. He'd already set it up with the rein. About 10 minutes left, and Chan's down here getting ready to introduce a bit, head stall, gallon, walk, trot, canter, and into a nice soft turn, getting that body to bend. She is picking it up very well, very smooth and soft through all the transitions. Dusty swinging the rope from both sides, just getting her used to on either side of it, the movement and the feel of it coming across the head or her butt. I know Chance, she's starting to bend and get a little bit soft and supple. And you'll notice that she is responding to him. Still on that rope. The reins are on the rope. And she's not trying to look at her now. A little bit of it, but she's pretty comfortable. She's not trying to fly out from underneath that saddle. You look out here at Dusty. Dusty's picking up the hind foot. Gallon down here is working those rollbacks along that fence, and that's getting that front end loosened up, and I mean, walk and then he'll stop and turn her back. Using the core muscles of the hind quarters, and then you look back here at Dusty again, he's on the other side. She's handling that very well. These colt starters, they don't know, none of them know whether these horses have had their feet picked up. They can't take anything for granted that this has been done or that has been done. So Dusty again, another good stopping point. Look at her, she is very relaxed, yawning. Licking her lips. We got 5 minutes left. She is, yep, she did take the snap a bit, wearing it all right. Now he's got the rein in his hand with that lead rope just kind of draped over his arm. Preparation before is more important than the doing of, and so that's what they're doing, is just kind of got the snaffle in there with Chance down here, and he's using that rein now instead of the lead rope itself. She is taking it very well. Gatlin has found him a good place to stop, and again, he's worked the feet and got her soft, and she is very responsive. Gatlin taking the saddle off his. Gatlin still got that halter and lead on her, but she's just standing there like she's ground tied. Both of Dusty's and Gatlin's horses tuned in and watching each one of those guys, and that's exactly what they want. Chance, as you're watching, got 2 minutes left. He's starting to untack. Does have the breast collar off, and going working on the cinches. There you go. And he worked very, very hard to make sure that she didn't jump out from underneath that saddle this time, and she's made a heck of a lot of progress, and so has Chance. Good place to stop and pick back up this afternoon. All right, guys, it's time limit. If you would, do me a favor and just give these three individuals a round of applause. Let them know you appreciate their efforts. Now, if you want to stretch your legs or get you something good to eat, go to the restroom. It's going to take us a couple of minutes just to get the colts switched around. Remember, keep your kids out of the pen. Don't be petting the colts outside. If you want to pet a horse, we'll try to find you one, but not one of these.